It is a nice, comfortable 85 degrees, 100% humidity day here in Hotland. I just finished painting gloss black on some Jeep CJ6 parts. And thought, ooh, I should talk about painting stuff. I hadn't painted, that proved my point right there. I hadn't painted with my gun a couple years. I actually did a CJ5 hood in 2 colors for the guy who owns all these to see what color he wanted the this Jeep to be. Chose red. I did half the hood in gold and half in red. I think I did a video about it 2 years ago. Got my gun out with the fixed aluminum cup, and the lid just falls right off. Same time I did those videos, this lid kind of fit then. I used to always put a glove, nitro glove over the top, and I'd hold the rag over the end of the spray gun, and I'd blow the glove up. I could see how I was doing. But I was always having to, how much am I going to paint? Is it enough? Do I, fill it to there, fill it to here? How much am I going to be using up? Because I don't want to waste any paint. And especially with primer and stuff that's just one-to-one with thinner mix, military vehicle paint. So, make sure I'm not cut off my head. Yeah, probably am. I don't know, let's go to the table. In the teaching world, it's called professional development. I was the automotive technology teacher, not the auto collision repair teacher. We had one of those. The ACR teacher, he did the painting. Well, my class did the mechanicals. We made it run good. They made it look good. There was some crossover. If I had to have something, if I knew we were going to be doing something that might need some painting done on something with a vehicle, engines normally, I go see him before school in the morning and say, hey, you got somebody you can think and want to come over and do that? And if he had somebody, we'd figure out what time to do it, and that student would come to my class, or the parts would go to that class, whatever. The 715 with the Cummins in it, that whole cab was painted by the auto collision repair class years ago. Anyway, I didn't mess with the painting stuff. My painting system worked good. I had a gravity feed, high volume, low pressure paint gun, HVLP. I was state of the art. 25 years ago, I just figured it out. Anyway, when I was painting the tub for the CJ6, this lid was just falling off, and it was just a pain. So I did a Google looking for a lid. Turns out, 25 years ago, 3M, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, came out with what they call their PPS, professional paint system. I don't know what PPS stands for. What it is you get down to one. Disposable cups. Disposable cup that fits inside a mixing cup. And then this lid, which has a filter in it, fits inside there under this black ring. Doesn't like going together, not in the mixing cup. There. It goes in like that with this black ring to tie it down to the mixing cup. The mixing cup provides strength. Then this fits on top of your paint gun. This actually collapses as you paint, so you can tell how much you got left because you really can't see that good into it with your color. But it has a lid, a little plug. This is primer I last shot a week ago. Still wet. I keep this one full of thinner. I just shot this black. I'm going to show you how I clean things up now. But instead of having to clean the gun or the fixed paint cup, I don't got to do that anymore. I was looking for a lid and I found a whole new system. Now what happened, 3M developed this. They had the Pratt patent on it, whatever. And you have to have an adapter for your gun. This piece here, my fixed cup would screw onto there. The adapter goes on here. Now I just painted this. You can see black paint's coming out. So I'm just going to turn it over. Make sure you can see this. Yeah. And you twist, and it pops right off. So this piece here, this adapter, when I was looking, it's like, oh, that's such a cool idea. Anyway, you plug it up. I first mixed this cup of black implement paint a week and a half ago. I just shot it. It sat with this plug in just like this. So the black implement paint, the primer, and I got thinner. What I do is I keep the thinner in there, pop it on, let that sit down while I'm talking. Anyway, 3M developed this whole disposable thing, and Devilbliss, if that's how you say it, that's how I've always said it. The other big paint company, they have their own system. Well, when I was searching for just a lid for my fixed paint cup, saw all this stuff, started researching. 3M wants $49 for the adapter to go from this setup to the my paint gun. Now, 3M will sell you a wonderful looking paint gun for $500 that the whole front of the gun is disposable. Like this is a 1.4 tip. They got from like 1.2 to 1 or 2.0 tips, and the whole front of the gun is disposable. You can just swap it out. So cleaning is really easy. That's what I'm getting to on this. Best I can figure out reading online and just applying some common sense, 3M lost their patent or trademark on this system. So Harbor Freight, of course, copied it. 3M has now come out with a new system called PPS 2.0. This is PPS 1.0. It's different. I've not seen the 2.0. To get 2.0, there's going to be 40 some odd dollars for the adapter. And the starter kit was $100 and a half, I think. And you got like 10 cups or 10 of the disposable cups with one mixing cup. And then replacements are like $70 for 10 replacements. Harbor Freight, the adapter was $4.99. The starter kit, which you have to get this black ring and the mixing cup, you have to get a starter kit. It's $14. And you get, how many do I get? You get 10 disposable, 10 of these things, the lids, the cups, and the plugs with each starter kit. So I thought that was great, or 5. There's 5 in the picture. Okay. I bought one starter kit and the adapter, so like I was out $20. Came home and tried it and loved it. But then I realized I need more. I can keep the paint or the primer in the cup. So I need to buy more starter kits to get this black ring and the mixing cup. So now I have 3. I keep the thinner in here, and I'm going to show you my cleaning process. Whether you agree with my cleaning process or not, I'm just saying, in the teaching world, it's called professional development. You go out and you see what's going on in your field. I did that with the cars, but I didn't do that with the paint. I had no idea this existed the last 20, 25 years. Now I know. Now I'm using it. It's great because I don't got to mix. As soon as I mixed the paint and poured in the other cup, I was always having to clean my mixing cup and waste thinner on that. Let's see, where's the view at? So yeah, I'll just move over this way a little bit. So for cleaning, let me make sure you're going to see this. Yeah, and the hose. Okay. it makes it super easy. You can see I have just thinner in here. I'm going to spray until it comes out black. Oh, still not black. So I'll get some thinner on here and I'll wipe the outside of the cup down, or the outside of the gun. All right, so we're clear. Clean coming out. Now I just let a little bit dribble into my pan here. It's a roasting pan. And then I just take it back off again. And there's black on the top of the cup. That's the last color I painted. But put the plug in. That thinner is going to be there for a while. Then all I got to do use the fancy gun tool. Clean up where the paint and primer was. Clean up the rod and the threads. And the gun is clean. Let's do the same thing with the adapter tube. Get all the black out of it, or whatever color it was last painted. I always pull this through. But this is so much easier than doing, so I normally do this on a bench, not on the floor or the dirty concrete, but you get the idea. All the holes are still good. All those holes are good. They're all cleaned up there. And I always give a little shot. I like to actually do a little shot of primer at the end, just in case I missed something or some piece got somewhere. But you can see how easy this is. Nice can be. That's it. Clean gun. That wasn't much primer, thinner in here to begin with, but I hardly used any thinner at all, and all my stuff is clean. I think that is amazing. So, sorry I was pushing a Harbor Freight product, but darn, it works. Of course, they call it Spectrum. Measuring, mixing, filtering, spraying. That filter in the lid, you can kind of see if I hold it just right, I think. So you can see where my finger is. That actually makes it, I was mixing my primer too thick. That filter wouldn't let primer come through. I increased my thinner ratio on the primer. The primer comes out flowing better, and it wouldn't go with the mixing as thick as I used to. No wonder I always had thick, clobby primer. I was mixing too thick. Anyway, something I found and didn't know existed and thought maybe someone might be interested. So yeah, I've now got $50 invested in this. But I'm not using as many. I mean, when this one gets done being used for thinner, I'll probably have to do something else. What I do is I'll then put bolts that I have, fasteners, nuts and bolts, or little bitty brackets that I need to get the bed liner off of. When that thing gets real low, it'll be dirty because you can see there's in the filter on top a little bit of globs of black on the filter inside there because it was on the gun. I use that as a sealed container to get paint off of fasteners and whatnot. Just leaving it there overnight doesn't evaporate, doesn't go anywhere. Works really good. Anyway, I'm impressed. It's a huge time saver. It's saving me money on thinner because lacquer thinner is what, $30 a gallon? I'd have gone through 3 gallons from the time I bought this until now. I've gone through half a gallon, and most of that was for mixing paint or primer. So yes, if you get the DeVille system, you get the 3M system, go for it. I'd love to have a 3M gun, but I can't afford a $500 gun. Try it with a starter kit from Harbor Freight. Where I've not tried their guns. I'm just 3 starter kits, an adapter, $50 plus tax. And I have really, really enjoyed using it.